Hello everyone, welcome back to Data Science Building Blocks. This is Joe. Happy New Year. Going to pick up today with Python, and we're going to start off slow and easy, but with a very important piece of information about using dictionaries, so creating them, accessing the keys and values out of them, and then how to print out our information using f-strings. So we'll go ahead and start with Jupyter Notebook, Python DSBB, or open up your Python DSBB and a Conda prompt and then just type in Jupyter Notebook with a space between the words and click enter. Either will do, just get to Jupyter Notebook and let it launch. So I just clicked on Jupyter Notebook. It will open for us here. I'm going to make it its own tab. This will load up. Wherever you have your folder of all the items we've been saving, go ahead and access that. Mine's desktop DSBB, and I'll sort by last modified. Double click it, it'll bring the last one to the top. I happen to use this DSBB_Python last, and even if you didn't use that one last, this is the one that we actually want to open for this session. So as that opens, you'll only see, I think, 2 blocks of code here. It's hello world and hello world again. This is the very first script we wrote after installing Jupyter Notebook and Anaconda. And I already did the work here, but I'm going to cut that and start fresh. This is what you should see. So first concept, f-strings. We see that we can just run these cells and it runs hello world. So it just prints out whatever you put in there. And if I drop an f-string in here, so just put f before the quotes and run, same thing. So it doesn't really do anything for us if we're just printing out text or words. Non-variables. But if we want to print out a variable, let's first start by making it, and we'll use a dictionary, start to access items out of it, store it in variables, and then we'll do f-strings. So comment in a new block of code, create a dictionary, and I don't believe we've done this yet either. So let's just do animals. Let's call it animals in the comment section. So dictionary. Think of it like you're opening a dictionary. You're looking up a word, that's the key, it'll have the definition, that's the value. So in our case, let's just make an animals dictionary. So animals is the variable. Equals, dictionaries are always curly brackets. Your keys are first, so let's do, and you have to put this in a string. If I just do a or one or first item, right, that's gonna think I'm trying to reference a variable that doesn't exist. So let's specifically call it a, and I'll do alligator and comma. So that's the A is the key, alligator is the value. This is just a very simple dictionary. B, and I'm just using an animal that starts with the letter, so we'll do B. B is bear, C is cat. So everything is in a string. You have 3 keys, 3 values. So if I do shift enter, that creates it. Go to the next line. Let's do access the dictionary. So I'm going to run this block of code a few times. If you do just animals.items, and items is this is like chaining, that's your function that you're calling. It's going to get you the items, so do control enter. So here's everything in there. It spits it out as a list of key value pairs. You could also access just the keys by changing items to keys, and I'll just keep it so you have all the code. So animals.keys. Right now it's just printing out your keys. It's going to run the very last one at the bottom here and ignore the first one. Animals.values. So instead of getting, the first one gives you the key value pairs, the second one here just gives you the keys, and this one just gives you the values. You can also do animals.get, and then some value that you already know. So single quotes or double quotes, you could have done single quotes or double quotes up here. So if you do get A, right, it's going to give you alligator. If you do get B, it's going to give you bear. So pretty simple there. Let's create a new block of code, and let's do store dictionary values in variables and create a string. So if I want to do animal A animal B, animal C. I'm just going to store these in variables. So you can call these whatever you want. You could just do A, B, C, or like 1, 2, 3, or A, 1, 2, 3. Probably shouldn't start it with a number. I would stick to the letters. Let's just do A, B, C. So equals, and then A, what am I going to do? Well, I already did it up top, so animals.get A. Animals.get B, and animals.get C. So this will store, in A, it's going to store alligator, right? Because it's going to run this, it's going to get alligator, and alligator is going to be A. So I'm just storing them in variables to make it easy to type the F string, which I'll do right now. So print and then put the F here, double quotes, and inside the double quotes, we can type a sentence and get the value stored in the ABC variables. Get the values stored in the ABC variables. So we can say this would be good for, this isn't a super practical example, unless you're doing like ad libs or something. So you can do instead of writing out alligator, right? If you don't know what it is, but you know you have 3 items in this dictionary and they're stored in ABC, and someone just told you, hey, it lives in, or you're doing Mad Libs, right? The one lives in the water, one lives in the forest, one lives in the house. You can do something like this. So the A, put it in curly brackets, lives in the water. The, in curly brackets, I'm accessing the variable here. The B lives in the woods, and the C, cat, right, lives in the house. So now, if I control enter, you can see that A is giving me alligator lives in the water, bear lives in the woods, cat lives in the house. So the F string, right, enables you to grab a variable. If I didn't put these curly brackets, right, let's erase them. It's not going to do anything. If I run it, it's going to literally just say A, right? That's what I typed. This is just text at this moment. And if I undo what I just did, I'm just control Zing and get rid of the F, it's going to literally write out the curly brackets, right? So this is the use case for the F string, being able to access variables like that. And if we put the F string back and then we go, and let's just replace the bear, we don't actually have to do this step to store it in variables. We can write it out. Animals.get B. We could have skipped this store in variables step and just put it in here like that. You actually need to do single quotes here because you've already used double quotes. So just use whatever one you haven't used yet. And you can see here that the function works just as well. So we can pretty much get rid of B here. If I hashtag and comment it out and control enter, it's still going to run this equation because it's referencing something that we've created up here in the third cell block. And if you don't use the curly brackets, it's literally just going to write it out, and that's not something you want. So make sure to use the F string and the curly brackets, and that allows you to access what is stored in a variable, or allows you to use a function that references a variable. So hope you like this. We'll pick up with pandas here, or pandas, however you want to say. It's a library in Python sometime soon. We'll catch you in the next one.